Today I want to talk about the power of expression. What happens in your body, your relationship, your entire life when you start letting the truth, the energy flow of truth flow from your heart to your throat, to your womb, to your soul, and there's no blockages and it just flows through you. And I will tell you right now that 99.999% of whoever is watching this can use more expression and speaking their truth in their life. Absolutely. And this is not just like an emotional topic. This is vitality. It's how to create more vitality in your body, more vitality in your energy. Be your true essence. Be your full, authentic self. You cannot be that if you are not fully expressed. So, let's dive in. So when I'm talking about expression, I'm not talking about oversharing, overventing, and one of those people who just can't shut up, right? They just have to talk all the time. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about something much more sacred than that. The free flow of expression from your voice, your womb, your throat, what resonates true in your body, your full yes, your full no, your deepest desires, your deepest fears and worries, what you're scared of saying, what is the most important for you to say. That's the type of expression I'm talking about. I love seeing it as a flow of energy circulating in the body, circulating to your womb, your life force, sensuality, desire, all the way to your soul, your deeper purpose, energy flowing. Truth. I love saying I'm in service to truth, to all consciousness, to God, to a divine power, to universe, call it whatever you want to call it. When that flow of energy circulates in your body, you will feel vitality in your body. It's not gonna feel stuck. You won't have symptoms around your expression. Because whenever the energy blocks in your body and there's not that free flow of energy, it does impact your vitality and can lead to some symptoms in your body. I'm sure there's some times in your life where you felt like there's really something I need to say to this person. Could be your mom, your dad, somebody you're in love with. You know that pressure in your chest and you're like, oh, I'm dying to say this thing, and your chest is just hurting from pressure because you gotta say this thing. I remember when I was in a relationship, that probably happened like 8 years ago. I come a long way in my self-expression journey. I would say it's been the most challenging journey of my life is speaking my truth. It took me so much to be here today and actually film myself speaking to the camera. But 8 years ago, I was in a relationship where it was so hard to speak my truth. I was literally feeling somebody in my throat, literally like, ugh. It was blocked. Like I lost my voice. I was all inflamed, puffed up. I had like a ball, a physical ball in my throat. It was getting all inflamed. And I knew deep down I just had to say the thing that I was wanting from him in this relationship. And it took me weeks and weeks and weeks of suffering and having that like inflamed throat to finally speak up what I wanted to speak up. And honestly, I don't even remember what was this specific thing. I remember we ended up breaking up soon after. Speaking that thing, all my body, the symptoms of inflammation in my body on my throat was my body telling me like, you have to say this, you have to say this. So when it gets blocked, the flow of expression in your body, when you swallow whatever you want to say, when it keeps stuck inside and the energy is stuck, it doesn't just disappear. Doesn't just disappear like I wish it just disappeared so many times. It will get stored in your body somewhere. And over time, if you keep repeating it, you can absolutely develop symptoms, pain, disease in your body related to you holding back your expression. Anything happening in your body is in service to you. Your body is not working against you. Any pain we're feeling, sensation in the body that is painful, is in service to your heart, to your soul, to your highest expression, Your body wants the best for you. So now I want to give you an example of the womb, pelvis, cervix connection. What's happening down here as a woman. And I'm going to talk about this in terms of your body's felt experience. So when we think of energetics, your womb, your pelvis, your cervix, what is the state they thrive on? They thrive in openness, in softness. Try to tune in here to the most juicy orgasm you've had in your life. What was your state? Openness, right? The more you feel safe in your environment with your partner, the more openness you feel, the more receptive you are, the more you open to receive him, right? Which creates the juicy orgasm. If the state of openness and receptivity is what you thrive the most on, what's the opposite of that? Anything that would bring rigidity, closeness, a closure, tension, anything that you will feel in your life that will have this impact on your energy and body won't be good for your womb, your pelvis, your cervix, right? I mean, you can apply that to other areas, but specifically right now, I'm talking about the womb. So anytime you're not speaking up that no, and you're swallowing your words, you're bringing an energy of tension, of closeness in your body. That tension goes down to your womb, to your cervix, to your pelvis, to other areas of your body. So all the times you held back on saying no, I don't feel like it, no, I don't want this, and you were deep into your people-pleasing tendency, well, it gets stored in the body. Sometimes we don't have to complicate things. I know we can go deep in the science of things and it can get real complicated, but this is a very simple, energetic way to look at it. Openness, closure, rigidity, tension, anything in your life that will bring more openness and receptivity, your body will love. And now it's for you and your mind and your discernment to decide and to make choices in your life to create more of that openness and receptivity, right? Now I want to give you the example of the throat-thyroid connection. Story time here. I had hypothyroidism for many years back at the beginning of my 20s, and I even took medication for it. And I was told I would need to take the medication for the rest of my life. And those months where this is my personal experience, I'm not telling you to do anything if you're taking medication. Please consult your doctor. I'm sharing my own experience here. For many months when I was on the medication, I had extreme level of anxiety. I believe it was one of the side effects from the medication I was taking. But I really believe in a divine orchestration here. Sometimes we experience things in our life, in our physical life, that are meant to make us move in the other spheres of our life, to make decision to get us out of a pattern. When I look back at what I was experiencing back then in my personal life, I was struggling with my body, dealing with multiple symptoms, chronic disease. I was going through my own awakening. I was starting to take my power back emotionally, spiritually, learning about how the system worked, a healthcare model. I had my own awakening around a lot of different subjects. A lot of structures in my life collapsed. But the people around me, my family, my friends at the time, were not on the same path as me. They were not seeing all the things I was seeing about the system we would live in. That was back in like 2000. And I didn't feel received. Anytime I would speak up about something, I was not feeling received by the people around me. I would get laughed at and ignored. I was just like, okay, I'm just gonna shut up and keep everything inside for myself and not speak up. So I started to develop this pattern of not speaking up when I wanted to speak up. It got really deep where I literally I stopped talking. I had no desire of talking because I didn't feel received, and it would hurt my ego every time. And the silencing part of me not speaking up was the peak of my thyroid issues. And you can look up the emotional root cause of thyroid issues, you can look up German new medicine, root cause of thyroid issues. Whatever school of thought you're looking at, they pretty much point at trouble with your expression, right? And as I grew spiritually, emotionally in my life over that year, I started to express myself more. I started to stop hanging out with some people. I made some new friends, and I worked on expressing myself more. Was I perfect? Definitely not. But there was an improvement. And at the same time, I really felt the anxiety I was feeling was coming from the meds I was taking, and I decided to slowly stop taking my medication. I went on a small protocol to slowly reduce the dosage gradually, and I completely stopped within a few months of taking the medication, and no more anxiety, and I was feeling great in my body. And this is a great example of when we're moving through something in our life, emotionally, spiritually, but there's also a physical aspect in our life that's creating discomfort, symptoms in our body. But it's showing us the way. For me, it showed me the way to start expressing myself more and really tune into the whispers of my body. My throat had literally been like closing up for years. I was willingly closing it up for years because I had stopped trusting my own voice. Now I think about it, it makes me really sad, but that's what happened. The other dimension of connection around expressing your voice is your nervous system, right? Anxiety, nervous system. I know that one very intimately. I suffered from crippling anxiety for a very long time, where literally like there was a ball on my chest. I was crying multiple times a day just to like relieve the pressure of the anxiety. It was horrible, uncomfortable, painful times in my life. And I've learned through my own experience that when I feel anxiety, it's because I'm holding back on parts of myself. Sometimes it's about taking a specific action. Sometimes it's about speaking a certain word, certain sentence, something you want to say. The longer you hold it in, the more anxiety you might have. This might not be a symptom you personally experience, but I've definitely seen it in myself and others. There is a really, really clear connection between the emotional, physical, energetic body. That's why I've created this Radiant Self framework. It's part of all my teachings, how I approach my mentorship with clients, and what I actually want to build my community about. You have to address all of them. Every sensation in your body has a physical, emotional, energetic cause. They're like beautifully working together, and none of them can be ignored if you really want to feel your most radiant self in your body. Your frequency is your filter. This is the part where, when you understand this, it changes everything. You attract who you are energetically. That's how the universe works, right? You attract who you are. The relationships, the friendships, the romantic relationship, you will attract what you project. You will find your match energetically. If your default setting is contraction and you move into the world editing yourself, silencing yourself, not speaking up your full truth, it is impacting your vibration, your frequency. That's the energy you're transmitting, right? And that's the energy that will get mirrored back to you. And this is where the self-responsibility piece is so important. I see so many women out there feeling so victimized in their life, in their relationship, and not taking full responsibility for their life. If you keep attracting the same type of man or relationship, mirror. What are you doing? What are you not saying? What is there in your energy that is attracting this pattern, the same type of experiences? It's not about him, it's about something inside of yourself. And that's where you have to take responsibility, take your power back, and really look at your own shit, your own patterns, and what you're transmitting, emitting in the world. You can only be intimate with someone else to the level you can be intimate with yourself. If you haven't learned the language of your own emotion, your own expression, your own sensation, do not expect somebody else to know it better than you. It's not possible. You have to learn to be intimate with yourself first, to really intimately know your own emotions and feeling, to know your physical body, to touch yourself, learning to have this level of intimacy. Are you able to communicate your own feelings with depth and clarity? You cannot complain about your partner not expressing himself if you're not leading the way and doing it yourself. You cannot fully receive, you want to be a feminine woman? Well, we thrive on receptivity, on receiving, right? You cannot fully receive what you cannot fully ask for. That's it. If you're not willing to ask for it, if you're not willing to express yourself, express your desires, speak it out loud, you can't receive it. And the first step is to speak it to yourself first. That's the first level, right? If you want to speak it to somebody else, you have to learn to speak it to yourself first. To have a deep level of honesty and awareness with yourself first. This is a letter to my 25-year-old self that I wrote a couple of weeks ago. I'm feeling a lot of grief right now. I'm grieving the older versions of myself who didn't fully speak their truth, who didn't fully express their desires, who didn't stand up for what they truly wanted. I see now how deeply our expression is connected to attracting what we want and creating the life we desire. And although I don't regret anything, because it was all part of my journey, it's the reason I'm here today creating this video. I wish I could tell that 25-year-old version of me just how powerful she is. I would tell her, you are so powerful. You can create anything you want in your life. You can truly attract anything your heart desires. You don't have to be afraid of anyone, of any truth you might express. Because if your truth is not received by the people you love, it doesn't mean you were wrong for speaking it. You are not responsible for how it's received. It simply brings you clarity. It shows you the next step. It helps you move forward. It helps reveal the truth. I truly believe that because she was so afraid of expressing herself, that was the energy she carried, and that's what she attracted. Communication became messy, confusing, and complicated, but it doesn't have to be that way. Expressing yourself, communicating your deepest desires, your worries, your fears, your doubts. Yes, it's uncomfortable, it's scary. Scary! It requires courage, and it's also incredibly liberating. Those emotions don't stay trapped inside your body. They don't remain suppressed, silently activating symptoms and the pain body within you. Every time you speak your truth, you also liberate your body. I want her to know that. You are liberating your body, and finally, I would tell her this: I love you, baby. You are going to find what you've been searching for. You will get out of survival mode. You will learn to slow down. You will learn to breathe more deeply. You will experience pleasure and joy in ways you never imagined were possible. You will meet yourself in the depths of your shadows, your grief, your pain, your sadness, and your anger. And through all of it, you will learn to love yourself through every season. You are so powerful, you are so courageous, more than you could ever imagine. Now I want to come back to one specific line I said in that letter, which brings tears to my eyes. And I think if there's one thing from this video you get, I would love it to be this: you are not responsible for how you are received. You are not responsible for how you are received. So many of us stay silent because we're scared of how we will be received, how it's going to land, how uncomfortable it's going to be, or hurt the other person, or create pain or discomfort, whatever it is. Most of us will not speak our truth because we're scared of how it's going to be received. But your job was never to control how your truth lands in others. Your job is simply to speak it. Speak from your heart, not your mind. Speak from the heart. What happens after you speak your heart to somebody is not your responsibility. Yes, you do your best to speak your feelings from the heart in a loving way, in compassionate way. You're not perfect. Sometimes it comes out too crush, you know, just like it's not your best. It's not your best moment. You know, you were feeling some sort of way and it's not your best, but you expressed yourself and you did your best and you spoke from your heart. That's the most important thing. What happens after that, it's the other person's journey. We all have our spiritual lessons. We all have a purpose to be in here on earth, a different incarnation. You're not responsible for the other person lessons in this lifetime. They have their own journey to go through. It's not a weight on your shoulders to be responsible for the other person and how they react to your expression. And when you speak your truth and it's not received in the way you hope for and things go sideways, it's not a sign you should not have expressed yourself. It's not a sign you did something wrong. It gives you clarity. And the faster you get clarity about a situation, a relationship, the faster you can move to the next step, move forward, because you get that clarity. When we hold things in, we avoid getting that clarity around whatever we desire. So when you mindset shift to the faster I speak up my truth, the faster I will get clarity to move forward in my life in whatever shape, way that is. It's a big shift. It took me years to have that shift, but it really changes how you approach your expression and the level of courage you can gather to have that expression. To speak up your truth. You know what I mean? Just this one belief can free up years of suppressing your truth, of editing yourself. So please integrate this one. Really, like, sit with this one. Sit with this one. It's so important, my loves. So now I know what you might be thinking. Okay, Laurence, but now what do I do? Like, what's the how? I understand expressing myself is like so important. But if I feel stuck, like, how can I help myself liberate my expression? Well, I got you. This was like the part 1, and in the next video, part 2, I'm really going to dive deep in what are the things, the hows you can practice to help liberate your voice and your expression. And if this video moved something in you and you really feel like, I want a deeper connection with my body, connecting to my own softness, openness, I created a practice called Let Softness Open You. It's in the 4 email series down below. Check it out. It's free. It's amazing to connect intimately with your body and your energy. I definitely recommend it, and it's free, so why not? And today, when you move through your day, try to notice and bring deeper awareness to the little moments where you swallow your truth. And it can be with the way we do one thing is the way we do everything, right? So if in general you hold back on 20% of your expression, it's gonna follow you in the big things and the little things in your life. It's much easier to start with the little things. Where are you not fully speaking your truth? Where is there a gap between your fullest expression and what you're actually saying? So try to notice today the little things. That's how we start transforming ourselves, right? I hope you enjoyed today's video. You learned something. I'm sending you so much love from my heart, and see you next time. Oh, and please write in the comment. I would love to know if there's places in your past where you feel you've swallowed your truth. I would love to know. I want to create a community here and for us to be there for each other. And it starts with sharing our stories, right? So I'm sending you so much love. Thank you for being here with me today. Cheers to our next level of expression, babes.